welcome back to Making Waves. It has been a minute since I've been on here with the holiday and things being super busy at work with some personal things. I really am quite delayed in getting a video up, so my apologies, but I'm so glad you're here today. So one of the things I think I've mentioned in the past that I often do is I'm constantly kind of pricing cruises, trying to find the best deal. I hate, paying full price. I definitely consider myself a bargain shopper. And so I want to get the best bang for our buck. And I've been a little bit kind of discouraged over the last few months looking at cruises, and it just seems like they've gone up in price so much. I know we're hearing that everywhere. So today I really just hunkered down and went through all the kind of major cruise lines, trying to really compare and contrast to find the best deal. And so I thought, well, maybe this information is helpful to you. So stay tuned. Let's talk about it. So I know certainly cruise prices can vary from line to line and over time, but it really does seem like they've gone up quite a bit. I know for our cruise that we took in 2019, I think we paid just under $2,400. It was a 7-night cruise, just a balcony cabin to the Caribbean. On our most recent cruise, we had a future cruise credit, so I'm trying to kind of add that in there. So I think once we add that back in there, it was around $3,000, maybe $3,100, and that was for an Aqua class cabin on Celebrity. And since then, I've been pricing cruises, and it just seems like they've skyrocketed. But one thing I've never done is really try to compare apples to apples among all the cruise lines. And it's a little bit hard to do that, but I've taken a stab at it. I hope this information is helpful. You all know I love a spreadsheet, so let's get into it. So as I was looking at cruises, I tried to keep as much the same as possible. So for example, these are all cruises to the Caribbean. They are all 7-night cruises with one exception, which we'll talk about. I wanted the selection of cruise ships to be ships that have been released in the last 10 years, right? Because sometimes it can really vary. If you're looking at, Icon of the Seas that just came out compared to an older royal ship, those prices can be pretty different. All of the staterooms that I priced are balcony cabins. They're not extra large balcony. They're not suites. It's just a standard balcony. However, it's not an obstructed view. I wanted just a basic ocean view cabin, so that's what all of these are. If there was an option to choose your own stateroom, even if it costs a little bit more, I did take that because I do kind of like to pick our location. I also did not include travel insurance, not because I don't recommend it, but travel insurance costs are not really the same across cruise lines. So I wanted to, again, kind of keep this as even as I could on the comparison. We always recommend trip insurance, whether you purchase through the ship or through an outside vendor. I tried not to pay extra for a mid-ship stateroom location if I could help it. So what I mean by that is I tried to choose kind of back of the ship or front of the ship, but if the only option for stateroom availability was the very back or the very front, I did go ahead and pick something mid-ship, even if it costs a little bit more, just because I do sometimes suffer from some seasickness, so I do try to avoid those kind of extreme ends of the ship. Lastly, if gratuities weren't included and there was an option to pay extra to add it, I did do that because that's what I would do if I were booking a cruise. By the way, I didn't price out Disney. I probably should have, but we're just not that likely to go on a Disney cruise. We don't have, young children. Let me know if I'm wrong on that. That's the only kind of mid-tier cruise ship that we didn't price out. I didn't price out any of the higher end, like your Azumaras and your Vikings. Lastly, I chose sail dates that were either November or December of this year. I figured I needed to pick a timeline. I could have picked the spring, but I know a lot of people like us like to be able to kind of budget out and plan several months in advance. So I did choose sailings that depart in either November or December of this year. All right, let's dig into the spreadsheet. I'm going to put my glasses on for this. I'll share my spreadsheet on the screen. We're going to start off with Carnival. So as you can see, I priced 2 different Carnival ships. The Celebration, which was released in 2022, and the Mardi Gras, which was released in 2021. The celebration sale is the week of 12/1. The Mardi Gras sale is the week of November 30th. They have the exact same itinerary. So Grand Turk, Amber Cove, and Nassau. Balcony on the 12th floor. Now, what I noticed with Carnival is I had the option to add gratuities, but that was the only thing I had the option to add. I couldn't add like a drinks package, for example, so you must have to pay for that separately. So with those, you can see they priced out pretty similarly, with the Mardi Gras just a little bit cheaper than the Celebration. You do also get a $50 per cabin onboard credit. So one thing I didn't like with this is that you didn't have the option to add a drinks package. Even though we're not big alcoholic beverage drinkers, my husband really likes his Diet Coke. I like smoothies and some of the fruit drinks, and you do have to pay extra for those. Or, and I put the price in here, if you pay for Carnival's basic drink package, which is called the Cheers package, that costs $69.95 per person per day. I don't think we would drink enough to really make that worth our while, so we would have to plan an extra budget to pay for the drinks that we did want to purchase. So just one thing to note there. All right, let's move on to Celebrity, which is our personal favorite, although we are trying to branch out and not sail just with Celebrity, but let's talk about that. The only ships that they've released in the last 10 years are the Edge series ships. So I didn't have a big selection to choose from. So it looks like we have both sailings are on Beyond, both in November, one the week of the 9th, one the week of the 12th. One stops at Labadee, Haiti, Puerto Plata, and Nassau, and one stops at Cozumel, Georgetown, and Perfect Day at Coco Cay. Both options offer an infinite veranda on the 8th deck is the one I priced out. And what we love about Celebrity is that you can kind of get everything included that you would need, including Wi-Fi, the basic drink package, and gratuities. So you can see they are a little bit pricier than the Carnival options, but they include everything. So one was $34, one was $44. That's quite a big difference. Now, my personal preference would be not to stop at Nassau, just because I've been there so many times. I do hear a lot of negative talk about Nassau. I know they were building a new and improved port area, so we haven't seen that. So it's my preference not to go, but if the price is right, it certainly wouldn't stop me from booking there. One thing to point out is if you do wish to purchase the drink package on Carnival, for 2 people, that's almost $1,000 for the week. So if you add that to the cost of the Carnival cruises, you're almost up to where Celebrity is. So I just thought that was pretty interesting. All right, let's move on to the next line, which is Holland America. And we have 2 options for Holland. They're both on the same ship. I couldn't seem to get another ship that was sailing during that time frame to the Caribbean. So they're both on the new Statendam, which came out in 2018. They sail 1 week apart, the week of December 7th, the week of December 14th. The first one goes to Grand Turk, San Juan, St. Thomas, and Half Moon Cay. That sounds like a great itinerary to me. The second one is just slightly different. Half Moon Cay, Grand Turk, Amber Cove, and Nassau. Both veranda staterooms on the 8th floor. And what I like is they pretty much offer everything as well. So the basic Wi-Fi, the basic drink package, gratuities are included, as well as specialty dining. I think it's just 1 specialty dining. I don't know why I have a 2 there. I think it's just 1 specialty dining per cruise, but that's really nice. They also offer $100 per person onboard credit that you can use towards excursions. So I thought that was great. So this priced out even lower than Celebrity, and it includes a little bit more in my opinion because you get that onboard credit. So $31.78 for that cruise sailing on 12/14, and just slightly more than that for the cruise sailing the week before at $32.88. By the way, after we kind of go through the numbers, I'll kind of give my thoughts on maybe what I think the best deals are and what really kind of piqued my interest. So if this information is helpful, I hope you'll consider giving this video a like. It helps our little channel to be seen by more people, and we so very much appreciate it. All right, so let's look at MSC next. And I definitely found something interesting here, so let's dig into it. All right, so I have two different ships I priced out. The Seashore, which was released in 2021, and the Seaside, which came out in 2017. Similar to some of the others we looked at, they're just 1 week apart. So the first one on Seashore departs on December 8th, and the one on Seaside departs the following week. They have somewhat similar port stops. So the first one is Ocean Key, Costa Maya, and Cozumel. And then the second one on Seaside goes to Ocean Key, Puerto Plata, San Juan, and Nassau. These are both ocean view balcony staterooms on the ninth floor. And these cruises include basic Wi-Fi, the Easy Plus drink package, and that looked to be it. I didn't see an option to add gratuities, although gratuities are included on the drink package. Now, look at this price for this first one, $1,575. And this is, again, is for two people. After I put this spreadsheet together, I'm like, that's got to be a mistake. I must have done something wrong. I went back and repriced it, and no, that is the correct price. So no mistakes there. Also for these MSC cruises, this is with the Fantastica level. So they offer 3 different levels. The Bella, which is just kind of your basic, you do get charged if you need to make a change to your cruise and you don't have the ability to choose your own stateroom. Next up is the Fantastica, which is what I priced, mainly because you have the ability to choose your own stateroom, and I think you get 1 free cruise change free of charge. There is an upper level called the Aurea, which you get all those things, plus you get access to their solarium. I didn't price that out, but that could be an option if you like that. So while the MSC cruises don't include, or don't, from what I could find, include gratuities for like your stateroom attendant and your dining room servers, the prices are still pretty good, especially that one. But even if you have to pay gratuities, which I think for the two of us would be somewhere between probably $400 and $500 for the cruise total, that's still, I think, a pretty good deal. So we'll come back to that. All right, next up is Princess. Let's take a look. So you'll see I only have 1 Princess cruise noted. That's because all of the other ones during those dates were on the same ship and the same itinerary. So this is on the Sun, which this ship just came out, right? So that's kind of nice. It sails on November 30th, and it goes to Princess Key, San Juan, and St. Thomas. I think that's an itinerary I would like. This is a deluxe balcony. That doesn't mean it's a better balcony or an upgraded balcony. It just means it's unobstructed. And this includes the Princess Plus options of basic Wi-Fi, gratuities, and your drink package. So that's nice. It includes everything that really we would need. It's a little bit pricier though. As you see, it's $3,500 and some change. And again, what I like about that is it's kind of all in. I know what to plan for. All right, next up, let's look at NCL, Norwegian Cruise Line. Priced out 2 cruises here. The first one is on the Norwegian Joy, which was released in 2017. Sails on November 16th, and it goes to Roatan, Honduras, Harvest Key, which is in Belize, Costa Maya, and Cozumel. So you have 4 stops, which is kind of nice. I like that. Balcony stateroom on the 9th floor. They offer their free at sea, which includes basic Wi-Fi, a basic drinks package, and 1 specialty dining. It does include gratuities, but only on the drinks package. So your gratuities for your dining room servers, your stateroom attendant is not included, so you would need to plan for that. Both options do include a $50 shore excursion credit per cabin. As you can see, that second cruise on Encore goes to Puerto Plata, St. Thomas, Tortola, Great Stirrup Key. That also looks good to me in terms of the port stops. Balcony cabin on the 10th deck, and the same amenities in terms of Wi-Fi, drinks, and specialty. So a little bit more expensive than MSC for sure, and you do need to plan on gratuities as well. All right, next let's talk about Royal Caribbean. I have some things to say about Royal Caribbean, but I might hold those till the end. All right, let's look at it. So for Royal Caribbean, I priced out two options. The first is on Symphony, which was released in 2018, and the second is on Wonder of the Seas, which was released in 2022. The first one the week of December 1st, the second one the week of December 8th. First one goes to Perfect Day at Coco Cay, San Juan, and St. Martin. That's a great itinerary for me. I think I would like all those stops. I've been to a couple of those before and really enjoyed them. The second one goes to St. Martin, St. Thomas, and Perfect Day at Coco Cay. Both are ocean view balconies on the 11th deck. And this cruise fare includes gratuities only. So I did not have the option to add a drinks package or a Wi-Fi package at the time of booking. You have to pay for those, later. They give you the option to do that before your cruise. And let me throw my glasses back on here for a second. You can see those price out at $32.35 for the first option on Symphony of the Seas, and $41.50 for the one on Wonder of the Seas. It is a little bit newer ship, so I do know that sometimes those are a little more expensive, but that's pricey considering you really get nothing beyond gratuities. All right, got one more to talk about. Let's talk about Virgin voyages next. As you can see, I just have one option for Virgin. They didn't have very many options sailing to the Caribbean in November and December, and I only really found one itinerary, so that's why you see that here. It also is only a 6-night. It did not have any 7 nights, so that was as close as I could come. So this one is on Valiant Lady, which was released in 2022, and it sails to Nassau, Puerto Plata, and Beach Club at Bimini. It's a balcony room, what they call their sea terrace, and it includes Wi-Fi, gratuities, and a water and soda package. Now, I thought that when Virgin, at least when they first came out, didn't they offer an all-inclusive a drinks package as part of their kind of standard pricing? I had to kind of look twice at that to make sure I wasn't reading it wrong. If I am, let me know, but I did not see an option to add a drinks package at the time of booking. However, what they do have is you can prepay a bar tab. You don't have to buy, like with many of the other cruise lines, such as that Carnival one that costs $979 for a week. You can just prepay a bar tab. So you can say, hey, I want to prepay $100 for a bar tab, or I want to prepay $300 for a bar tab. So that's kind of nice if you do partake. That's a good option, and you don't have to spend quite as much money for it. All right, so what did I learn as part of this exercise of trying to at least somewhat compare apples to apples? Well, I learned a few things. If you had asked me a month ago which cruise line I was most likely, or we were most likely to sail on next, I think I probably would have said maybe Royal. Again, we've sailed on Celebrity, so let's sail on the sister ship. Their ships obviously look beautiful, lots of activities. And I might have said Princess. But after going through this exercise, I guess my first thing I want to say is run, don't walk. For that MSC cruise that departs on December 8th. That's a crazy good price, even if it doesn't include gratuities. You just plan for that and make sure you bring that with you. The other option that looks good to me are those Holland America options. Again, it's not that we're against sailing on Holland. We definitely are not, but that probably wouldn't have been my guess as to one of the next lines we would sail on. What I like about Holland is it's all inclusive. You've got everything plus an onboard credit. So I think that's a pretty good deal. I have a beef with Royal. Royal only has the option to prepay gratuities, nothing else. And their cruises are pretty pricey as is. If you add on the cost of Wi-Fi and a drinks package, that gets more expensive than, Celebrity and Virgin. And I just don't know that that's worth it. So for those of you that are loyal to Royal, I would love for you to, sound off down in the comments. Let us know, am I off base on that? Have they just kind of priced themselves out of the market? Obviously not. They're still coming out with amazing ships and selling them out, but it just doesn't make sense, from a money perspective for us. So I would love to know. Love to know your thoughts on all of it. We'd love to book a cruise, obviously, before November and December. But I wanted to kind of pick a time frame that was a few months out so people could really take a look at it and plan. We'd love to know where your cruising to next, what cruise line you're cruising on. Are you loyal to one cruise line, or do you try them all? We'd love to know. Thank you so very much for taking time out of your busy days to watch. It means the world to us. And until next time, happy sailing.